Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar where we'll be discussing tips on channel incentive management software, or CIM, to improve your channel incentive program. We'd also love for you to join us for upcoming incentive webinars, where we'll dive into choosing motivational awards and building upon that to discuss the must-have software features for your incentive program. The links to register for those webinars are provided for you in the chat, so don't miss out on those. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Terrace. I'm the marketing manager here at Brightspot, and I'd like to introduce our amazing panelists, Kelly Coombs and Jason Neal.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
If you have any questions, you can click the Q&A chat, and we'll be going over those at the end of the webinar. Go ahead, Kelly.
All right, well, jumping right in to tip number one, make your platform the promotion, or said differently, let your platform be the promotion. What does that mean exactly? The platform, the software itself, is a reflection of the program sponsor, the manufacturer, and the investment that you're making in your channel-driven business. The platform, the software should serve as the central nervous system in a way when it comes to promoting what the program's all about, what the offers are. It should be the repository of program flyers, resources, sales guides, everything that your sellers or participants need to be successful in that program. So when done right, it's well designed, greatly secure. Thanks. I'm looking at Jason over there. Includes calculations and business logic out of the box, and then also includes an award module at a high level. And visually, it's also a depiction of, it's tied to the brand. Maybe it ties to existing CIM software, but it also lets you show your personality. Is this a fun company, a fun incentive, or is this more brand compliant? Is it wearing a t-shirt, a tie, or a tux, for instance? But it should be the resource and the first impact when it comes to promoting the program in the channel.
And tip number two, let your CIM platform do the talking. So I'm going to step out on a limb there and share, because we're in the bubble of trust here. It's just me, you, and dozens of people who are listening. Whenever I go to Amazon and we talk about Amazon Prime expectations as far as CIM do the talking, I'll order something, and honestly, I want to get an email immediately. I want the status of my tracking. I want to know exactly where the package is going. I want to know when it's been delivered. That's become an expectation, right? I look forward to getting those reminders. Well, that's the expectation your participants have in your CIM. One thing you don't want to do is, and as important as awards are, as important as all of those things are, make sure you do not rob communications. We want to make sure that all of those important touch points through that incentive life cycle, that award life cycle that your participant is going through, each one of those, we take an opportunity to be able to inform them and have those touch points to engage them and draw them back in. So when we talk about automated communications modules, that should be something that your CIM has, whether it's communication after enrollment and communication for activities as they come in, the status of those activities. If they're submitting a claim form, right, you want to let them know that it's been submitted, let them know when it's been approved, let them know when those points have been awarded. And that's like saying, hey, come back in, you got points. Come back in, engage with the program, and come spend those points. So make sure that you have those communication touch points throughout. Hey, it's great to call your participants, but I'm sure you don't want to be at the phone, right? Telling them, let your CIM do that talking and do that communication for you.
So Jason, with how fragmented we know the channel is, would you say that it's possible to over communicate?
No. I don't. It's never like, there's so much noise out there, right? I mean, you're in, and I know people are thinking, hey, I'm adding to all of that noise. You better, right? Your competitors are, right? So why get one email out there when you can get 5? You're going to get eyeballs on one of them, and that may be the one that draws them back in to be able to redeem and have that brand recognition you want. So you can never over communicate, in my opinion.
Well said, sir.
The second one, consider flexibility and the future state. So there was a time, and Kelly's been in this industry probably a little longer than I have. I've been in the industry for 15 years. And I remember there was a time where our CIM was spreadsheets. I mean, you were doing nested pivot tables and trying to get all of the information that you needed. But hey, we've moved a long way since. And the bottom line is, the more that you do manually and you don't trust your CIM with, the more errors and the more problems you can have in your overall program. It's a fact. Manual incentives add 5 to 10% more cost, and they do it for a number of different reasons. But at the end of the day, we're humans, we make mistakes, and human error costs money. So what you want your CIM is to take the heavy lifting off of you, right? It should be able to do out of the box scoring logic. You're awesome at adding, you're awesome at multiplying. We just don't want you to have to do it, right? You have higher level concerns when you're running your incentive program. You don't want to worry about the math. Let your CIM take care of that for you. Also, your CIM should have some flexibility to be able to change scoring logic, right? To be able to customize and let you pivot based on the results that you get as you're running your program. So yes, we want to make sure that the things are automated that need to be automated, but your CIM should also have flexibility, and there should be a team of people with your CIM provider, hopefully a development team, where if there's a particular piece of logic, code, something special out of the box that you've identified that you need to be able to meet your target demographic, they have the flexibility to be able to do that. So adaptability and being able to adapt to your internal needs and your internal systems is so important.
Hey, Jason, before we move on, I love that, that statistic from that Accenture study that's referenced on the slide. And just for our listeners, fun fact, the top 2 drivers of that overspend is 1, duplicate claims. So deals being paid out more than once just due to human error. And secondly, gaming, because we know that in all these programs, there's always somebody trying to game. So a good software will catch those out of the box.
Oh, wonderful point.
Let's see, tip number 4, don't be boring. Always a good tip, but by that we mean include awards in your platform. There's nothing less motivating than being asked to do something without knowing what's in it for me. So a good platform will include an integrated award module, or the award engine, as we sometimes call it internally. And depending on your programs, your demographic, your psychographics and demographics of your audience, those award types might be a prepaid card, which tends to be very popular in the channel, or an e-gift, a closed loop e-gift catalog, as you see here on the screen. Global programs tend to do well with merchandise. And then a 4th award option might be experiential travel, again, depending on the audience. When done right, those awards tie directly to sales and behavior tracking. It's an award type that is a motivating best fit, if you will, but then are also delivered in real time. Jason mentioned that Amazon Prime world that we live in, that delivery rate is an expectation these days. So getting that award to the recipient quickly to, again, deliver on that immediacy, create that halo effect, the timing is incredibly important. So anything, we would recommend a real-time API with that award module, which comes out of the box.
And Kelly, I got a quick question, and I already know the answer to this. I know it's going to be GameStop, but what do you think the most highly redeemed closed looped gift card is across the majority of our programs, if not all of them?
Oh, Jason, 10 times out of 10, actually, can I say 11 times out of 10? It is Amazon. Probably no surprise to our viewers today, but consistently Amazon, followed usually closely by Target, Lowe's and Home Depot, and Starbucks.
Very good.
Great question.
Not GameStop.
Yeah.
No offense. Tip number 5, know the basics cold. Now, after that wonderful slide that Kelly just mentioned, awards, and I understand, guys, awards are the sexiest part of an incentive program, right? That's where most of your spend's going to be. That's what moves the needle, right? And it's a science of determining, based on the psychographic and all of those information, what the best awards will be for your channel. So there's some things you don't want to forget, though. Don't want to forget the basics. Remember, awards isn't the first experience that these participants are going to have with your incentive program, right? One of the first experiences they're going to have is that workflow, right? That enrollment, that claim submission form, all of those boring forms that people have to deal with to get the information in, identify who they are before they can start getting those points and redeeming the awards. Make sure we don't forget about that, and making sure that we don't forget about giving a cohesive experience. There's an opportunity there, right? Because when you talk about a distribution channel, you talk about those sales reps, right, that you may not have a lot of contact with. The first inclination is, hey, now that I have their attention, let me get as much information as possible. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You just want to make sure, though, that that experience that they have is relevant and it doesn't become an opportunity for them to have a blocker and say, you know what, I was good with 10 questions, but 35, I'll do it later. And guys, they just won't come back. So let's make sure that that experience is relevant. Make sure that you have conditional and dynamic fields, right? Once they tell you they're in the Northeast region, they should only see information and questions that have to do with the Northeast region. That may seem like a small thing, but that's an expectation. Make sure that that dynamic capability is there. And also importers. If you are able to gather that information in an automated way, hey, try to go as far through that incentive life cycle as you can. If you can capture information and you're able to pay out and do awards and have your CIM handle that for you, then you're just issuing good news, right? You're not calling people and trying to get information or have them come in to submit 7, 5, 8 different invoices. You're just paying out. They're smiling, they're coming in, and they're giving you the glory. And one of the most important things, I know it's not more important than awards, but one of the most important things is security, right? Nothing can make you lose credibility in your program than a data breach. We haven't had one, fortunately, but it can be bad. So make sure that your APIs that you're sending and receiving information are secure. Personal identifiable information, as a best practice, collect as little as possible to make sure you can meet your goals of the program. But whatever you collect, make sure you secure it and encrypt it in transit and at rest. And GDPR, right? It's not just for the UK. Eventually, trust me, there are going to be GDPR-like regulations everywhere. So make sure that your CIM and the providers of your CRM are aware of GDPR. They have the accountability and the certifications needed to be able to demonstrate that they can handle those UK participants. And more importantly, they have a strategy to be able to roll those same protections for everyone. So I want to make sure we stick to those basics.
Jason, question for you that I haven't asked you before, actually. Before we logged on, I meant to look up the tiny text that is underneath our SSN field on our site. Because that's one of the biggest questions that we get operationally from participants. Why do I have to give you my social? I don't want to do that. It's almost like they'd be willing to forego awards rather than give up a social security number. So can you tell our viewers what our encryption is there?
Absolutely. So we do have a line item, and you'd be amazed, guys. I mean, these participants are savvy. So we use AES 256 encryption, which is an industry standard. And it's the level of encryption that we provide to our data at rest. And that's just a little assurance that, hey, we not only collect your information and have it encrypted in transit, but encrypted when it's stored at rest on our system, and also encrypted as it's backed up. So your information has several touch points where we make sure that it's secure all along the data process. So that's what we have, AES 256. I'm sure people are Googling it as we speak, but it is important.
Thanks, Jay. Let's see. So Jason talked about knowing the basics. Next word of advice would be look for a platform that can do the fancy footwork too. So things like tiers, multipliers, duals, splits, weighting, transactions, tables, all that fancy stuff. We know that the partner ecosystem is highly evolved in this day and age, and it rarely is a deal closed by just one person. Usually, traditionally, the AE, the account manager, is the one that is receiving the award, receiving the payout. But behind the scenes, there's often a sales director, maybe another AE, maybe a team of SEs that were behind him or her as they worked to close that enterprise level deal to have such a large team behind it. So look for a platform that can recognize more than just one person, but multiple people on a deal, on a claim, etc. Let's see. So, recognize the entire team, and when done right, it will allow you to add things like tiers and multipliers down the road. At Brightspot, we always recommend starting simple, keeping it simple, but for longer term programs, it's great to have a way to keep things fresh, especially for loyal participants who may have been in this program, loyalty or channel, for a decade plus. So by adding tiers and multipliers, it's a way to keep turning that dial to keep them engaged and motivated to continue to earn and of course sell the sponsor's product.
Well, I have a quick question, Kelly. Seeing as I am the SE on a number of sales calls, what are some of the benefits of incentivizing the SE?
Ooh, one of the benefits, many benefits of incentivizing the SE is one, loyalty, but two, they are more likely to assist their reps, their sales leaders in the future by being included on claims and deals. Great question.
Great answer. And number 7, expect metrics and insights. So one thing you don't want is for your incentive program to be the best kept secret in your organization, because the individuals who fund your incentive program and support your incentive program, those stakeholders, they want to be able to see results. And your CIM system should have a dashboard that allows you to get those insights quickly. Those insights should be relevant, easy to consume, and also executive level. So it's one thing that we talk about here at Bright Spot, and that's the transformation of information, right? We start with data, raw, dumb data, number, spreadsheets, lots of it. We transfer that into information where we start making relationships between that data. We start slicing it and dicing it a little bit, creating by reports. Let me see it by region. Let me see it by demographic. Let me see, that's information, right? Grouped data that helps you to make decisions. But when we talk about the pinnacle, it's insights. What insights can we glean from this information to help us make business decisions, right? So a CIM should do more than just give you data, right? It should do more than just give you information. That's a pivot table, right? It should be able to give you insights and help you make decisions in the future. And also, better yet, transfer those insights to your leadership, to your stakeholders, and be able to effectively communicate it. That's what you're looking for, and a dashboard is wonderful for that. So we want to make sure that those questions are answered quickly, because every Monday or Tuesday morning, you're going to get that email, right, from the manager, supervisor, stakeholder, and they want to know kind of 5 key demographics or metrics from your program. You want to be able to print it off, send it on, and already have that information available. And also, when we talk about those insights toward improvement, even further than insights is a plan, right? And the information that you receive in the dashboards, in your reporting, should help you to develop a plan that helps you to move forward. And that's what any good CIM should give. If your CIM isn't there yet, right, if they're still giving you data, then you may want to have a conversation with your provider and see how you can turn that into insights that they can provide with creative and interactive dashboards.
That is a great point. And I'm going to go back to the word you used. The word on screen is insight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our dashboard displays in real time, as any good data does, real-time information.
Mm-hmm.
But real time isn't exactly an insight in a sense, but it's better to look at, would you say, change over time, quarter over quarter, month over month, so that we can track trend to know how to improve. One of our values here is continuous improvement. So we're looking at trends over time, and a quick dashboard, it allows us and our clients to look for those opportunities proactively.
Right. And even to expound on that a little bit, I mean, one thing that you know, we have in our dashboards, and we have these, you know, conversations whenever a program starts, we take a look at a number, and the question is, okay, I see the number, I see this changed over time, but is that number good or not? Right. So sometimes part of our industry knowledge and the value that we bring is let you know what the benchmarks are, what's good, what's not, and then you can get insights tracking it from there over time. So yeah, you got to know where good is and know whether you're close. And then the dashboard is very helpful to let you know whether you're improving or not.
And also how you're tracking against budget spend.
Yes.
Also very valuable to our clients.
Awesome. So now we'll open up the floor for some Q&A. And while we're waiting for everyone to get their questions in, I'd like to share some helpful resources with y'all. You can find more information about selecting the best CIM software on our blog. And we've also provided our ebook resources on channel rewards and software for you to utilize. So those links will be provided for you in the chat. And then again, we'd like to invite y'all to our upcoming channel webinars. Let's see what we've got here. Good question. So which of all those inclusions of auto communication Jason mentioned are included in Brightspot's core Ignite product?
That is a good question. I'll take that one. Kelly's like, Jason, take that one. So there's a lot, right? So let me get started. So there is an enrollment confirmation that comes. So whenever you enroll, you receive an email notification, you set your password, you come back in. So that's one touch point. Also, depending on what type of program. So we have programs that have claim forms where individuals come in, log in, and submit claims, and other ones where we collect activity on their behalf from our client. So they give us all of the activity. But let's just say it's a claim form. So on the claim form, you have a claim form confirmation that comes. And also whenever that claim is in, as it progresses through the approval process, every single change in status is a new email that comes to that participant. So truly, they can come into our website. We have a portal that allows them to be able to check that status. But at the end of the day, it's a touch point. We're going to take advantage of that, right? We don't want them just coming in. We want to push that information out. So, hey, it's in pending. Hey, it's been approved. Hey, it's been issued, right? You got points. Come on back in and spend them. And also, if it's approved, we definitely send an email for that. If it's declined, we give a decline with a reason. So that's another touch point that comes back. And then we haven't even talked about the orders. So now you come in and you've placed an order, right? So you've got your points, you've come back in, we've sent you that touch point that says, yeah, you got points. And then as you spend them, you get an order confirmation that comes. And then based on the tracking, you also get a confirmation that comes to let you know if it is merchandise when that package is arriving. If it's something like an e-gift, it comes almost instantly, right? As soon as you redeem, you get the email with the actual award, and that comes usually within 5 to 6 minutes. So all of those little touch points are ways that we can go out and kind of grab the attention of the participant and bring them back into the portal.
Those are great. That's a great answer for what's included in core. I would also mention some of the things that are additional, just not in core, but we've done that are custom as far as additional triggers and thresholds. Maybe you're close to this tier, this close to achieving X, Y, or Z, this many points to, something in your wish list. So there's things that we can also do that weren't on Jason's list, comprehensive list.
That's a fancy footwork.
I think we have time for one more question. Do these tiered incentive programs move the middle, as I've heard y'all say many times?
Yes, that's exactly what they're designed to target that middle and just make them move 1%, 5% up to the next tier, because that 1 to 5% can drastically drive incremental revenue.
Perfect. Those are all of our questions. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate everyone's time. Hope to see you on the next webinar. Thanks.